Hi, I'm Lori Allred. Welcome to Inspired by Pinterest, where I browse around Pinterest looking for amazing pins from crafters and bloggers from all over the world and bring them to life each week in an episode here on my craft channel. Today we are talking about the new trend you're seeing all over with adult coloring books and adult coloring or coloring for grown-ups. I am hooked. I've been hooked for a while. It's one of my favorite relaxation things to do. I hear it also helps you with your memory, and I could use some help in that department. So first, I actually have a pin board that we're going to start with. It's called Doodles, an adult coloring Pinterest board. We're going to start there with the first pin. This is what first initially got me hooked. Awesome designer named Stephanie Ackerman from Homegrown Hospitality. You've probably seen her around for years. She is an amazing artist. Well, she used to do doodles that I would take and translate into stitcheries, but I also loved coloring them all the time, and she has a ton of free ones on her blog. And so that started a while ago. It wasn't until I started to see these coloring books pop up. So the other artist that I am absolutely in love with, she's from, I believe, Oregon. Her name is Carla Dornatcher. I see her every year at the Summer Fest up in Logan, and I adore her art. It's beautiful, and the image you're seeing here are some of her bookmarks that she does. She also does an e-coloring book that I love, that I purchased, well worth the money, and hers are usually scriptural based, but I love her designs. One of my favorites. And as always, you can go to my blog, allreddesign.net, and I link back to any pin I mention here on the show. So the next one is where I think that the trend really kicked in for me. We're going to go to this first pin is some paintables, art paintables from Adorn It. And they're a company here in Utah that you've also seen here on my craft channel. And I absolutely love that they came out with 12 by 12 sheets of these art paintables. And they're on a fun textured paper, almost like a watercolor paper. So you can do a lot of fun things with these. And I believe they have 12 or 18 designs. Absolutely love them. I've had a lot of fun. Even one day my daughter and a friend of mine, all of a sudden we just started painting. And my daughter did this fun one. And you can cut them apart and do different things with them. Here on over here I did with their sheet that has tags, just make some cute little gift tags that go on packages. You could add them to a card if you wanted to. I just think they kind of give it that really nice personal touch. And if you go to look at this pin I'm showing you now, here's a couple of their new items that are coming out that they featured at a recent trade show. The first are new coloring books, one by Stephanie Ackerman. Yay, I'm super excited about that, and some other designers that I love. Lindsay Ostrom designed these, and she's an amazing artist as well. And then they're also coming out with I believe they're planners, and they're craft colors, so they look really cute. You can see in that image. So if you're not sure where to find them, I have tons of coloring pages you can download from the internet. You can also go to your local bookstore, or Amazon carries these. They have these beautiful, beautiful coloring books. And it just says, you know, coloring book. I don't think you'd buy this for a kid. It wasn't very expensive. I think it was $14. It's beautifully done, and the designer is amazing. It has this book cover on it. You can even color, and you can go through this beautiful book, and it has amazing designs, and I love the style. So it's kind of, you know, trendy, and I started to do this cute hedgehog with pencils. My daughter, I think, has this fox she was starting to do with the Tim Holtz distress markers. Some of the things to be aware of, I did one back here with some Copic markers. They do bleed these feathers here. I was just playing around with one day, not realizing that it goes through to the back sides. So keep that in mind when you're doing the two coloring book. I almost wish they made these single-sided so that you had the options to do all the different things. But the designs are darling, and I also have a link to a free download of one of the images from this book on my blog, and I was really excited to come across that. And the other coloring book I've had lots of fun with, I just kind of shove this in my bag when I have to go somewhere for long periods of time, throw in my colored pencils, and it's just oodles of doodles, random, nothing in particular. Like I said, it's a great stress reliever, and I've had a lot of fun just coloring those. I'll find my daughters over there coloring sometimes, just filling in the spaces. Just a lot of fun. So you're probably wondering, this is probably the main question, people ask a lot about what to do and how to do it, or how to handle the printables from online. I'm going to add some extra links to my blog that link to some of my favorite resources as far as printables go and great designers. But I actually just print them on my inkjet printer, believe it or not. My Canon, the IP8720, works great. Now here's the key I'm going to tell you about, and you've heard this spiel over on the Canon show. Paper does matter. I do use a cardstock, so this yellowy tint, this one up front is just standard cardstock I had in my stash, just for scrapbooking or whatnot. Now this paper here that's a brighter white color actually has a coating on it that's formatted for Canon, so you can tell the difference from the back side to the front side. It actually does make a difference, and I find that the watercoloring on them or using markers bleeds a lot less when I'm using the Canon paper, and this is just their matte photo paper, and you get a whole pack, I think, of 50. So if you have a Canon printer or another type of printer, make sure you're using the paper that goes with it. But even then, some of them I've used on the cheaper cardstock I didn't have too much problem with. This is one I started that I'm just using some colored pencils. I've had a lot of fun. This one I was using watercolor paints and having a lot of fun. I'm hooked on the watercolor paints. I just love how bright the colors are, although I haven't found a red I like, so I'm working on that. I put in an order for 36 colors, I think, because I just don't like how pink the reds are. So here's just some fun ideas of what you can find online for free. This is actually from a coloring book I bought from donnicole.com, and I loved how trendy these are, how cute they'd be in a frame. Can't wait to get coloring these. How cute is this? Go your own way. And these cute arrows, super trendy. And then here's some of my favorite Stephanie Ackerman that I've kept for years. I love her style. I love, love, love her writing. I'm taking a class on how to do that, but I haven't had time to do it. Here's some of that Carla Dornatcher's that I love, her style as well. But here's some just free ones I found online. So you can do everything from, my Faber-Castell gelatos worked amazing on these. I had a lot of fun, and I actually we pulled these out. In fact, this one's done with all the gelatos, and we just paint right using our brush. We just take the color right off of that. We wouldn't even get a palette going, and we just paint right on what we were working on. I really like that, and you had a lot of color options, but you can mix them, which is really fun. And then of course just regular colored pencils. I'm starting to get to be a colored pencil snob, so I bought some Prismacolor. I like how soft they are and how intense the color goes on. And then I had a lot of fun with my Copics, but again, it depends on the paper how well the Copic works. So those of you who are familiar with Copics know that. Watercolored pencils work great. My daughter prefers those. All of these were done with watercolors. I just had a lot of fun with those. The Distress markers are amazing. These are from Tim Holtz. I just don't have a ton of colors to pick from, so I haven't used them a lot, but I love how easily you can go along a design. Let's do this cupcake here and follow it up with water. You don't even need like a jar of water and a brush. You can actually just use a water brush, which these are handy to have, and now Stephanie Ackerman is amazing at using these markers and blending them. So if you want to see some beautiful coloring done with these, then I highly recommend you go check out her blog, and I'll have a link to that. So you can have a lot of fun blending those in. They work different on different papers, so experiment or test your paper before you get going. And then of course the cheapie, I bought Crayola to start with. I advanced to another type of watercolor. Those are my preference. I could sit there and paint for hours and listen to talk on the radio, or I enjoy doing that, or my family will be watching TV and I'll be up there just painting for the heck of it. So hopefully you'll be hooked, and you'll find some great resources on my blog at allreddesign.net, and we'll see you next week.